From UFOs to psychic powers and government conspiracies, history is riddled with unexplained events. You can turn back now or learn the stuff they don't want you to know.
Ben, Noel, and super producer
Alexis, codename Doc Holliday Jackson.
I have a topic for you. I've never heard anything really scientific about it, but it baffles my mind, and that is talking in your sleep and swinging your arms about in a violent manner, like my 6-year-old daughter does. She still likes to sleep with Daddy. Being a single father, I find it comforting. She'll start in her bed and always wind up in mine, but I've woken up with many a bloody nose and woken up in the middle of the night only to hear many ramblings of a 6-year-old. And it's very amusing, and I just want to know what she's dreaming about. This is Miller from Central Illinois. Love you guys. You helped me get through hellish days, I tell you what. Thanks for doing what you're doing and being who you are. And I don't know, tell me stuff I don't want to know. Bye, guys.
Oh, that was great.
Yes.
I love it. Tell him stuff he doesn't, but he doesn't want to know it. We want to be consensual here. It's not what we don't want you to know; it's what they don't want you to know.
Yeah.
Well, it's whoever is, haunting your daughter's dreams. Maybe it's something they don't want you to know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of interest and information and research out there on different versions of parasomnia or different parasomnias, sleep disorders, issues with humans and sleep. And we all know how much Ben hates sleep. I'm not a huge fan either, but
I ain't taking it or leave it.
But the reason, Miller, why I really wanted to talk about this is because my 5-year-old son has some pretty serious sleep issues. It's not life-threatening. It's not scary, really. It's a little disturbing, though, and I'm sure that's probably what you're feeling right now with your 6-year-old. I'll just give you my example and then tell you a little bit about what I've learned. My son talks in his sleep a lot, and much of the time it's just completely not understandable, incomprehensible. But it seems to be associated with nightmares, or at least unpleasant dreams of some sort that he can't really recall, but he knows it's not pleasant, and there's sometimes a werewolf involved. I actually had the same dream when I was a kid about a werewolf, and I couldn't sleep very well. It was recurring. But that definitely is occurring, so that's why I was interested in all of this stuff, even prior to you calling in to us. So let's talk about parasomnia. We've talked about a couple of different versions on this show, specifically the origins of nightmares, what those are, night terrors, and sleep paralysis. We've really hit on those before on this show. So let's go through. I'm on the Sleep Foundation. That's sleepfoundation.org. If you want to go here, Miller, to learn a little bit more about what's going on. There are several types. One is non-REM related parasomnia. So this is just a kind of a category of different types of parasomnia. There's confusal arousals. This is a really interesting one. This is one where it appears that someone who was asleep and has woken up, they seem like they're awake a little bit, but they're not really. They're doing some strange things. They've got an accelerated heartbeat. They're breathing differently. Their pupils are a little more dilated than usual, and there's a confusion that's occurring. They're not really sure what's going on. My son has displayed that, and it's a scary situation because you're not sure, right? You're not sure if the person is awake or asleep. Mm-hmm. You can't really speak to them. They're kind of aware that there's things happening where they are, but not really. Strange.
Does he ever talk in the Tony voice from The Shining? I'm only half joking. I mean, I certainly have encountered people in their sleep that do take on a different vocal intonation.
I've never experienced that with my son, But what he will do is he'll start that way and then sleepwalk, which is just he'll find his way out towards the bathroom or think he's going towards the bathroom, which comes into your whole peeing in the drawer thing. My peeing on my dad's speakers while he was listening to vinyl on headphones when I was
knew
a kid.
you had a pee story. I knew it. I wasn't alone.
But he'll do that, but then he will speak. And he will sometimes speak to something that is not there, or what appears to be a being that is not there, somewhere in the corner, somewhere in the dark, and...
It's okay. You got a very easy test for this, Matt. See how the doggos are reacting. Like I wouldn't, for sleepwalkers, I do have experience with this. I've only ever been freaked out if like a household pet is also staring at the corner. And then that's the time where I think, maybe I'll go out. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll go to Subway. This episode is brought to you by kidding. So you're right. Like I think one thing is the word parasomnia might seem very niche to people, but as you said, it is an umbrella term. And I am virtually certain that everybody listening here has had an experience with parasomnia, because of one of the most frequent types of parasomnia, from what I understand, is nightmares. The kind that are so terrible that you wake up and like, that the ocean is actually made of water, that you bleed blood instead of spiders, but you can't. It's 3 a.m. and you can't get back to sleep, and you're really starting to consider if you should look under the Band-Aid or not. And you just kind of try to get yourself in a different mind state. That's parasomnia. Reality is really fuzzy in that state between wake and sleep. And I personally, I will share, without getting into it, I will share part of the reason I'm reticent to talk about it. I had conversations I was not aware of that were recorded while I was asleep, and they're super creepy. I don't think there's anything supernatural, to be clear. I just think it's super creepy to hear yourself like that. It would be like if you guys had a video of yourselves rousing from bed and somnambulating to urinate in these various non-commodes. Like, it's weird to watch that, right?
Can you imagine the TikTok views you could get, boys? Oh, there is actually, I would ask my wife right now, but she watches somebody on TikTok that allegedly, I'm saying allegedly, films herself sleepwalking with her boyfriend in the room all the time. And she does the wackiest stuff that feels scripted to me, and I'm suspicious, but I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying I maybe don't personally believe that it's always genuine sleepwalking.
This is astrology all over again. All right, let me take a crack at it. So I've seen at least one person doing this on TikTok. I've seen I don't know if it's the same person, but the clip I saw, this individual, there's a caption that says, I sleepwalk and I record myself. That's my thing. Hello, internet. And she talks in text about the dream she remembers having. And there's one where she is like walking. You see it through a living room camera in the corner, and she's walking, carrying stuff awkwardly from the kitchen. Right? Are we talking about the same one? Like cans of stuff. And she walks out to her front porch, and it's late at night, and there's a camera in the corner of the front porch, and she starts throwing this stuff into the yard. Right? Is this the same video?
That's one of the ones that my wife showed me. But you have to understand, the reason why I'm suspicious is because it's not just that one great video that was captured. It's now a daily post, however frequently post situation, where it's like, look at me, I'm still sleepwalking. They're hilarious. It's great entertainment. Anyway, I want to jump back really quickly, Miller, to your discussion with your daughter, because one of the things you talked about is violent movements of arms in her sleep. That, to me, is a bit troubling. That is a slightly different disorder. That is a REM-related parasomnia. And it's often called REM sleep behavior disorder. Emphasis on behavior there, because it is something that you are doing while you are asleep. This is This is a very different situation. And it's kind of weird. I don't know. To me, I guess it's not fully weird, but it's a little different that your daughter at 6 years old has this, because it's often observed in older people. This is a fairly frequent thing in, at least according to the Sleep Foundation, in people aged 50 and older. It's most common, at least in that age range. The sleep talking, however, is very common in ages like early age. So I think 3 to 10 is the most common age range there.
I saw 5 to 12, but
Okay.
yeah, it's a young folks game.
Yeah, exactly. And that's coming from different places. WebMD is the one that says 50% of children between 3 and 10 carry on conversations while asleep. Full on conversations. Yeah, you can go to WebMD, and there's a whole article called Talking in Your Sleep from 2019 that goes over a lot of this. It talks about some of the different reasons for it. What you should know right now is that it does not mean there's anything wrong with your daughter. This is while not extremely everyday common, a common thing. Same deal with the REM sleep disorder that she may be experiencing, where she's moving around a lot. There's just a little restless sleep. So, this is not medical advice, but I would talk to, the pediatrician, talk about things like diet, talk about things like, what time she's eating certain things. I don't know. That's one of the only things you can really control as a parent, right?
Or if there's medication, maybe.
Yeah. And one of the big things before we close out here, something to look into if you're interested, Miller or anybody else out there, check out Sleepwalk with Me. That's that Mike Birbiglia. God! Mike Birbiglia. Fantastic writer and comedian and actor, and Sleepwalk with Me is the true story that he tells about his experience with REM sleep disorder, REM behavior disorder. Anyway, it's really great and kind of chilling, kind of sad, very cathartic. It's fantastic. Can't recommend it enough. Oh, and one other thing with Mike Birbiglia, I think he's spoken about it publicly before, or it's a part of that Sleepwalk with Me. There are some medications that you can go on or you can be put on to help deal with things like that, like moving in your sleep or talking in your sleep or just having your REM or non-REM cycles disrupted by those kinds of behaviors and activities. I would, again, not medical advice. You probably don't want to give that to a younger person, but you should speak to your doctor about that if it's a problem in the future. But for now, just enjoy those awesome moments that you get with your kid while she's still that age, right, Noel?
Yeah. Mine's already gotten to the age where she doesn't really tell me anything anymore. So hopefully it comes back around, guys. We used to be so tight. No, I'm kidding. We are tight, but kids have secrets. Kids have secrets, and some of those things probably pop up in their dreams. So probably a good way to get the scoop on what's going on with your kid is eavesdropping on them if they're sleep talkers.
Yeah.
Maybe
you should record them and then keep those recordings. Right, Ben?
Yeah, you know what? Maybe solemniques, which is the fancy word for those. Maybe, I would say just respect people's privacy and all those things. And then, if you're a parent, there is the question, like, is there a possibility that this would be the audio equivalent of a cute picture your kid would enjoy in the future? Or are you going to be like if your kid starts dating, instead of showing baby pictures, are you going to say, let me play you this crazy fucking conversation that the person you're going to prom with had with me when they were 6? That's weird. That's a weird flex.
It is.
Could happen. And just remember, guys, we've talked about this many a time before, that space that you're in when you're sleeping, it's a little thin when it comes to, the realities that exist out there, the varying realms. So maybe if there's something important happening on the other side, there could be a message coming your way via your daughter or your son or someone else young who is having a solemniquy or a soliloquy on stage somewhere, but probably the other one.
Did I tell you guys I have this recurring dream where I'm in a play and I don't know any of my lines? It's probably pretty common, but I've never really been in a play before, so I'm a little confused. But it's a very distressing dream.
Mm-hmm. It's weird. All my one of the reasons I don't care for sleep is that all my dreams take place in an interconnected universe, and stuff that happens in one affects, like, the consequences stay with it. So it's a complicated thing, and I can like draw the buildings and stuff, but I still have, like you're saying, Noel, I still have reoccurring sort of scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Strickland ruined that word for us, but I still have like these scenarios.
Scenario.
Yes, exactly. I still have these scenarios. He won. That's it. He won.
It sounds very Alan Wake to me. Are you familiar with that, Ben?
No. I like his last name.
You really aren't familiar with Alan Wake? First of all, video game from a long time ago, and Control.
Yes, I do. I learned about it from Control, actually.
Oh man, I want to say there's a graphic novel, but maybe I'm completely wrong. I don't know. I think maybe it was just a video game, but it was fantastic. God, I loved it.
So the thing that I don't know if this is a common scenario for other people, in dreams, but we have these tropes like no going to a place and feeling unprepared, right? A lot of people dream about high school way into adulthood, and sometimes I don't know what's on the test, or I don't know how to do this experiment. A lot of people dream about losing teeth because that's a trippy experience the vast majority of human beings go through. I have I don't think this will be interesting to anyone, but you need to get it out. I have a reoccurring dream where I bleed spiders. I'm not joking, like instead of blood. And it's not a nightmare. It's just a thing that happens that is ancillary to the plot of the dream.
Wow.
And with that, we wish you good night. We wish you the best of dreams.
Oh, come on. You guys have that too.
May visions of blood spiders dance in your heads.